Episode 4063, Opening Doors for What Comes Next.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. You know it. It's Friday. Yay! Do the happy dance. Come on. You got to be excited. Even if you're having a bad day, get excited anyway. Because today we are celebrating graduation. We're celebrating the world, the next generation of where they're going, opening doors for what comes next. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already didn't have the opportunity, you'll want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter. The Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. Well, I thought that this might be a good Friday to celebrate our up-and-coming generation, the ones that are graduating, whether it's high school or college, whether it's even kindergarten. You got to celebrate all ages. And maybe it might be you. Maybe you went back to school and got more education or a certification, something that means something to you. I think it's important that we see the value in learning and celebrate it, because a lot of times we just don't. We are so busy and we get caught up. And my son graduated a week ago, and we've had basically almost like 12 days of celebration for him because he's had 5 events, which has been wonderful. But when it was Wednesday, before Friday, which was his graduation day, he was like, I'm just done. I'm ready for it to be over. Well, of course, as parents, this is our baby. This is our last one. I mean, others will be graduating because they're going on to postgraduate school or they're getting further, education and learning done. And we've got a daughter graduating in December. She'll walk in May. And so there's just a lot happening all the time with us. When you have 5 children, it's going to happen. But it was one of those things where I'm like, but it's nice. Like, I think it's awesome that his college is willing to celebrate all the little things. And they weren't little. I mean, they were major events. And I really think sometimes we as parents, we're just sometimes just going through the motions. And when you have multiple kids, it's easy to do that. It really is. And I'm speaking from a mom who has 5. Beware. Make sure you notice every single one, because every single one is unique, right? Just as you're unique. And yes, they may have a piece of you, but they don't have all of you. And so it's important for you to see them for who they are. So I thought, what better day? We'll kind of pick literally mid-May, May 15th, and just celebrate all the graduates out there, regardless of their ages or stages of life, and just really say, you know what? We are cheering you on for what's to come next. And it's hard, right? We're charged as parents to raise these incredible children, and it means more than just meeting today's needs. It's not about checking off a box. It's about paving a path and opening doors for what comes next. And when you consistently blend unconditional love sprinkled with discipline and resilience, you're not just shaping behavior, you're cultivating purpose. And you're helping that grow inside your child. I mean, think about it. You're opening doors for your child to step confidently into every season of life ahead. Now, if you've got a graduate out of kindergarten, it's a big deal to go to first grade. And if you've got a 5th grader going into 6th grade, hitting the big, junior high or middle school, depending upon where you are in the country and what they call it, it can be kind of scary. It's a big deal. But then it's an even bigger deal when you know that what you're doing is not about getting them to the next grade level. It's about seeing your child fully developed the way God divinely designed him or her to be. I mean, imagine it. Imagine your child living fully as the person God created them to be. This vision doesn't just happen. It requires creativity, perseverance, and the ability to adapt. Parenting isn't some rigid formula you apply once and forget. Wouldn't it be nice? Because we'd probably all have like 100 kids. No, it demands distinctiveness, a tailored approach that fits your child's unique temperament and evolving needs. It's got to fit their personality, who they are. God created them on purpose, with a purpose, for a purpose. And life is going to ebb and flow. And with every shift, new opportunities emerge. Your role, mom, is to stretch your child so they are ready for these moments, equipped and eager. Are you ready to do that? Come on. That is your kiss to keep it simple strategy. Stretch your child. I mean, if you don't do it, who's going to? I can't stretch your child. You're the one who has the greatest impact on their life. You have to be willing to see what's good for your child's sake, because they likely won't be mature enough to see it for themselves. I don't care what their age is, because you're older than them. You will always be older than them. They can't catch up with you, and that means your wisdom is greater than their knowledge. And also your experience is greater than their knowledge. They may think they know everything, and maybe they have a few degrees on you, or maybe they don't. Maybe they graduated high school and they just went on to trade school, and that's what they're doing. Fabulous. That's awesome. Celebrate it. They don't have to look like us, be like us, do like us. But they need to live out their life in the manner that God divinely designed for them. And that means it's up to us as parents to help show them the way. Now, I will say this too. The buck doesn't stop with you. It starts with you. They still have to do some of the hard work. You can't do it all for them. So if you're scratching your head a little bit going, Christiane, I feel like I failed as a mom because my child or one of my children, they're just not like adding up to where I think they need to be. That's not your problem. Yes, you can still have influence on them. And you can still guide them. But they have to make their decisions, especially if they're already an adult. And I get it. It's so hard to do it. And sometimes keeping our mouth shut is the best gift we can give our kids. But it doesn't matter what action we're doing. That action needs to stretch our children. And it does. Because again, if you don't do it, who's going to? So how do you stretch your child and prepare them to walk through these open doors? Number one, nurture confidence through challenge. Confidence doesn't come from comfort zones. It doesn't come through comfort zones for you, right? I've told you to get off that lazy boy recliner that has your butt imprint in it. It doesn't, you don't need to be there. Go get a new lazy boy recliner that doesn't have a butt imprint. I'm just saying, maybe you need a new chair. Don't tell your husband that I told you to do that. But we need to really get out of our comfort zones because we get stuck in them. And it is comfortable. It's nice. We feel secure. We feel safe. But when you have that confidence isn't going to come from sitting in that comfy chair. It develops when your child faces obstacles and learns to overcome them. I know, Mom, you're an overcomer, or you wouldn't be here right now. You've had to overcome challenges. Well, guess what? You have to let your kids do the same thing. So give them age-appropriate challenges that require effort, problem solving, and persistence. And when they stumble, because they're going to, help them see mistakes as stepping stones, not dead ends. Right? It's not the end of the world or the end of the line if there's an error. The lesson is what? Resilience is built by facing adversity head on, not by avoiding it. But I can tell you this right now. Some of the people that are coming up in our generations, we got to be careful. They may be a little bit mouthy, but where's their resilience? Can they rise to the occasion? Can they go the extra mile? And I'm genuinely asking this question because I've had long conversations with mamas who said, my daughter doesn't get it. My son, I don't know. If he was called up, if something happened, if school wasn't what it was cracked up to be, or the marriage wasn't what they thought it would be, like, how much harder would they work for it? Would they be willing? I don't know that. And you don't know that either. But you do know that if they have confidence and they know what they don't know, maybe they'll be willing to climb through the challenge and to figure it out because of the confidence and what you've nurtured within them. And that doesn't come because they're comfortable. It comes from being uncomfortable. Number 2, cultivate core values that stick. We got to have sticky values. And the shifting tides of culture and peer pressure, which we all have nowadays, don't we? Yep. Turn on the news, look at your Facebook feed, your Instagram feed. That's all I have to say is Values are your child's compass. So instill a clear sense of integrity, kindness, and responsibility early on. Model these daily. Teaching values isn't about lecturing. It's about living them and having honest conversations about why they matter. And remember, you've got to be the role model. If you're telling them to do one thing and you're doing something else, there's a problem there. You may not be a perfect parent by the words that come out of your mouth, but let me tell you, I hope your actions speak louder than your words. And sometimes I know there's sometimes a disconnect there. Why? Because we fall short. We're not the best mamas, but we're the best that we are in the stage of life that we're in, raising the kids that we have. And that's why I find myself on my knees more than anything else. Because I know God will fill the crack that I missed. And He'll do the same for you. So when challenges arise, and we know they will, those anchored by strong values can make decisions that keep their path open rather than closed. I think about some of these, ideas and like, how do you instill this or how do you do this? And honestly, when I think about writing them out, I'm like, how did I do it? And as I was thinking about this episode with graduation, it brought me back to one of my kiddos. And I really wanted them when they were young to learn different sports. I wanted them to allow themselves to experience team sports and even single sports like tennis and things like that, unless you're playing doubles. But for the most part, when it all relies on you. And I wanted to stretch them, especially if they didn't think they wanted to do it. Well, one of my kiddos didn't really want to have anything to do with much of anything. And so Mama had to push a little bit. And I said, well, this is what we're going to do this season. And you're going to go play football. And he's like, oh, no, I'm not. And I said, oh, yes, you are. And believe it or not, it was tackle football. And he wasn't real sure. And after the first meeting, he was like, I want to quit. And I said, quitting is not an option. We've committed and we're going all the way to the end of it. And you will get to the end of it. Now, I will tell you that was the only season he played football. But I will also tell you he learned a whole lot by playing football. And no, he wasn't in middle school. He was a young tot of like, let me think, 5th grade, I believe. And so it wasn't like he was, some older, boy or whatever doing something. No, he was still teachable. But one thing I wanted him to do is I wanted him to finish. I wanted him to struggle a little bit, but finish strong. We cannot run the race for our children. And I know how hard that is because I believe that every mom would take all the pain and hurt, all the struggles and troubles away from our children if we could. But we can't because that's the life they have to live. But we can guide them. We can teach them. We can help cultivate their core values that are sticky. So when they are in a situation or even when they get older, and after now playing the football for just that mere one little season that he did, now that he's a man, I'm just going to call him a young man because if I just say man, it makes me feel really old, by the way. But now that he's out there in the real world, he looks at his teammates a little bit differently in the workforce. And he says, I really like my teammates. I wish I was doing some other things, but I really like my teammates. Let me tell you, he may not acknowledge it, but I know him playing that one little season of football had an impact on him. Now, I know he was really mad at me when he had to do it. But sometimes we have to let our children be mad at us, in order for us to stretch them. And finally, number 3, encourage curiosity and adaptability. The world your child will inherit is full of surprises. Encouraging curiosity helps them remain open to new ideas and experiences. Look at AI. Now, you might be saying, Christiane, I don't want to talk about AI. It's not good. AI is going to take over the world. The robots are going to rule us. Okay, we're not going to go into those types of details right now. It's for a topic of another conversation. In fact, I'd like to bring a mom on here, and I've got a couple of them who are out in the world, even from a faith perspective, and really talk about AI. What does it look like in the workforce? How does it look like from a Christian perspective? How does it look like from a mom perspective? Because I know a lot of us are concerned. I get it. But I'm also here to tell you AI is here to stay. So you can either pull down all the blinds thinking that you're going to, keep your children safe from it, or you can teach them in a manner of curiosity, but a safe curiosity. So they do it in a manner that really serves them best. And that's hard. Now, obviously, it has to be age appropriate. I'm not going to tell you to sit here and put a 5-year-old and let them get in front of AI. That is plain, I'm not going to use the word, but you know what I'm going to say. Yeah, it's not good. That's craziness. But if you're talking to a middle schooler or a high schooler, have these conversations with them. Ask what they're saying. Ask what their friends are saying. What are their teachers saying? I mean, their friends have an influence, but so do their teachers, their coaches. And then as they get older, high school into college, right? Young adulting. What are they facing in the workforce? When they write a paper, how are they allowed to or not allowed to use AI? Because it's out there. So encourage curiosity and adaptability. Because when you do so, encouraging that curiosity, right, it helps them to remain open. Adaptability lets them pivot when circumstances change, and change is a constant. It will always be present. To support their interest, even when they shift. Show that flexibility isn't a weakness. It's a strength. When your child learns to embrace change rather than fear it, no door will ever feel truly closed. It won't. Because in the end, opening doors for what comes next isn't about control. It's about preparation. And I also want to do a sidebar here, reminding you that it's not about you either. Meaning, this is their life to lead and to live. So if you're one who's thinking, gosh, I wish I would have, and now you're thinking, oh, well, they can go do and be a little bit like me because, they're so like me. It's kind of fun to let your kids know they're like you. But it's even better when you let your kid be them. Let them be themselves, their best selfie. Don't try to turn them into something you didn't get to do. That's not their life to live. So be very cautious of that, because it's easy to live vicariously through our children. And we don't think about it along those lines, but sometimes we encourage a little bit more than in other areas. And I'm guilty as charged too. Now, I don't do it so much now, but when they were younger, I was like, oh, I see this in her, or I see this in him. Oh yeah, it looks like his daddy, or, oh, she's got a little bit of his dad, her daddy in her. So, this might be a possibility. You just don't know until you know. So watch them grow. Let them be stretched. Let it be God's divine design, not yours or what you think it is. Yes, you can, obviously, most definitely, be their best advocate and be their biggest cheerleader, because you're going to know them more than anyone and better than anyone else. But please don't try to put your stamp of yourself on them. That's just not fair. So that's my sidebar there, because it's important, right? And so when we look at this, opening those doors for what comes next is about preparation. It's about guiding your child with a steady hand, a brave heart, and eyes fixed on their potential. Each act of love and discipline and faith you pour in today builds the confidence and values and curiosity that's going to keep those doors wide open for their future. Nothing is impossible, right? You're not just raising a child, my friend. You're preparing a life ready to step boldly into all that lies ahead. So be that fierce mama bear and love them like only you can. But know that you're opening doors for what comes next. Go in peace, be present, be incredible, be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed weekend. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.